I'd like to call the Tuesday, October 18, 2016 Committee, the whole meeting to order. It's approximately 5:30 p.m. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Councilman Shelley? Councilman Maldonado?
Here.
Councilman Williams?
Here.
Councilman Roth?
Here.
Councilman Burgess? Vice Mayor Fairclough?
Here.
Mayor Porter?
Here. Additions, deletions, deferral. I know there's one deferral, Mr. Manager, or deletion.
Yeah, that'll be tab 13.
13, okay. Tab 1 is the approval of the minutes. Is there a motion? Is there a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Vice Mayor seconded.
Okay, thank you.
Tab 2,
Giving a tour.
Mr. Manager.
Mayor, this is probably the final batch of all the documents in the basement of the old City Hall. Staff recommends Mayor and Council approve the attached resolution authorizing the city manager to extend the agreement between City and Advanced Data Solutions, which was awarded the contract for document scanning services for the voluminous quantity of public records stored at the former City Hall basement. Staff is requesting that Phase 2 be approved to be completed in the 2017 fiscal year. There are 142,500 pages of building plans to be processed for a cost of $21,850. and 1,046,000 regular pages for a cost of $43,500, totaling $63,350 to complete the project.
Any questions from council? Is there a motion? Moved and seconded. All in favor? Motion carries. Tab 3.
Mayor, Homestead Public Services Energy Department is required by the federal government to follow certain standards associated with cybersecurity as it relates to critical electrical infrastructure. The regulatory standards are complex and dynamic and require a tremendous level of expertise to interpret and implement correctly. For the upcoming transition to Critical Infrastructure Protection Plan version 6, Homestead wishes to partner with Navigant Consulting to leverage their expertise in this area. Navigant has a team of industry experts who can provide Homestead with the necessary assessments, processes, and suggested tools needed for the transition for any subsequent audits of the standards. Staff recommends Mayor and Council approve the attached resolution authorizing the city manager to enter into an agreement with Navigant Consulting for critical electrical infrastructure cybersecurity regulatory compliance consulting in an amount not to exceed $207,500.
Questions from council? Is there a motion? Moved by, is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Tab 4.
Mayor, in March of 2015, staff requested direction from council regarding a mutual operations agreement with the a Homestead Air Reserve base, which, if implemented, would allow the HARP to partner with the City of Homestead to provide mutually beneficial training opportunities for the HARP and the city, including the following: pole climbing training, electrical training, water and sewer operations. Agreement has now been approved by the Air Force and awaits council approval. Staff recommends Mayor and Council approve the attached agreement between the City of Homestead and Homestead Air Reserve Base for mutually beneficial training partnership.
Questions from council? Is there a motion? Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Just have one.
Go, Mr. Roth.
6.22, the address is incorrect.
Homestead Energy Services address.
Is that their address, 790 North Homestead Boulevard?
That's the old City Hall. Isn't that the old City Hall?
So that would have to be, I guess,
Is that the right address? We have
6.22.
Homestead Energy Services.
790 North Homestead.
That's the 790. Okay.
Okay.
So that address is good. That's a good address?
The address is good, correct? Yes.
Okay. Okay, motion carries. Tab 5.
As discussed at December 29th, 2016 attorney-client session. The city attorney is proposing a resolution which will settle all claims concerning Laura Snyder. Approval of workers' compensation settlement is required as recommended by Eric Stedden.
Any questions from council? Is there a motion on tab 5? Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor? Motion carries. Tab 6.
Three Virtues Organization is hosting this breakfast to bring the community together to reflect on the 2010 Haiti earthquake and how we can help those victims and look forward to with hope. Three Virtues is requesting mayor and council authorize the city manager to approve waiver of usage fees in the amount of $500 for the use of William F. Dickinson Community Center to host their first annual fundraising breakfast on January 7, 2017.
Questions from council? Is there a motion? Mr. Shelley?
No, just a comment. Again, I support the organization, but because we go through this all the time, I just wanted it on the record. I will vote against it only because I don't support using city facilities and waiving the fees for fundraising activities. So that's my only concern.
All right, sir. Any other comments? Mr. Maldonado, do you have anything? Is there a motion on tab 6? No motion?
Well, I had a question, but I don't see a representative here, so in keeping,
I'm sorry, let me turn you on, sorry. Go ahead, Vice Mayor.
I had a question, but I don't see anyone from Three Virtues here. So in keeping with my current practice, if they're not here to answer any questions, then I think we should defer it. Did they know this would be on the agenda?
So is
Okay,
that,
so-
you want to make a motion to defer?
Motion to defer.
Motion to defer, and there's a second. Mr. Maldonado?
That was it. I was just
Okay. Okay, the motion to defer is made and seconded. All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Tab 7.
Staff recommends mayor and council approve the attached resolution authorizing city manager to accept and execute the contract with Turf and Landscape Maintenance Department funded agreement between the Florida Department of Transportation and the city of Homestead. FDOT will reimburse $12,252 annually to the city of Homestead for the landscape maintenance for Chrome and US 1. FDOT has offered to partially compensate the city for the performance of the city of certain turf and landscape maintenance services for state right-of-way at South Dixie Highway in Chrome, as described in and pursuant to the attached turf and landscape maintenance agreement.
Questions on tab 7? Is there a motion on tab 7? Is there a second? Moved and seconded. All in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Mr. Burgess, you have some friends here tonight?
Distinguished guests with us.
Hold on, sir. Let me get the microphone. Mr. Burgess, please.
Thank you. I just wanted to take a quick minute, and I apologize for being late, but I was showing these young men around our city hall and explaining to them what we do and how we do it, or how we try to do it here, and what things get done. We had a couple of minutes with Mr. Gretzis, and they couldn't figure out what the bowling balls are for, but now they know. But anyway, I just wanted to welcome Troop 69 and their leaders and their families here tonight, and I appreciate them coming out and having an interest in the city, so thank you. And thank you for the time, Mayor.
Could you please stand up? Because some of you folks are a little behind the chairs. We can't see y'all. Could we stand up and see?
All right.
Hey, hey. Thank you, Mr. Burgess, and thank you for being here. I was in Troop 69 when I was a little boy. Long time ago. Long time ago.
Mayor, we're going to try not to bore them too much tonight, but we did have a little conversation with them about the Cyberry, and they're all in. They love the Cyberry.
Perfect, great. That's
And
what
they
we
love the
needed.
bowling alley, and they love the movie theater. Right, guys? Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Mr. Williams.
See, Councilman Burgess, my son's sitting over there, and he's been wanting to be in a troop. Now you done made it hard for me. And he's thrilled now. I can see he was just smiling from ear to ear, so you got me messed up now.
Whatever I can do to keep the pressure.
Thank you, sir. Tab 8.
In order to improve coverage of the police department radio system, the police department wishes to utilize the telecom system LTD tower to benefit from its height and location by placing certain pieces of communication equipment there. This will help compensate for the additional construction throughout the city, as well as increasing the range capability. Staff recommends the mayor and council approve the attached resolution authorizing the city manager to enter into a site license agreement with Telecom Systems LTD for the police department's radio system interference.
Any questions on tab 8? Is there a motion? Moved and seconded. All in favor? Motion carries. Tab 9.
The Department of Justice JAG Grant Award was brought before the council on 7/27/2016 for review of the budget, which was a requirement of the granting agency. The council approved the budget at that time, and we have since received the grant award documents. Department of Justice has allocated the City of Homestead's Police Department's grant funds in the amount of $72,792 to assist in the effort of reducing crime within the city. The allocated amount is based on the UCR crime report for the previous year. The funds will be utilized for training, overtime, the purchase of one motorized T3, and supplies for the community policing unit. Staff recommends Mayor and Council approve the attached resolution to authorize the city manager to execute the contract agreement with the Department of Justice for the 2016 JAG Grant Award.
Questions from council? Mr. Williams?
Yes, Mayor, if you give me a moment to ask a few questions about this and they can kind of pinpoint to me exactly where they're going to be, projecting most of the funds, what area. I know the T3, for community policing. The reason why I'm asking is because last week at a Southwest Advisory Board, we had a vociferous community member to, raise some questions about some of the shootings in the Southwest area, and very concerned about the community policing aspect. And with this grant, how would they facilitate to reduce the crime? And then the second question will be is, based on those statistics, where is most of the crime that they use for this grant throughout the city? Where's the crime rate that is high that is used to get this grant?
Councilman Williams, Mayor and Council, if I can respond to that. In the years past, this is a renewal for a grant that we've had for numerous years. What we do is we kind of review the crime trends, and where the high crime trends are occurring is usually where we implement the overtime to address the crime issues occurring, whether it be robberies. Historically, the majority of those funds have been spent on the western side of the city, which in
Say western?
the western side of the city, yes, sir.
Okay.
And that's from the north end to the south end to realistically address some of the crime issues there. We have seen a small trend of an increase that's starting to creep out towards the east now, but we anticipate mostly using those again for the western part of the city, and I would probably concentrate those areas for being everything west of US 1.
Okay, and what mechanism are there in place to combat that you all are using as relates to this grant that you all will be using the funds for to combat? What other programs or what initiatives are going to be used in order to bring it down, or to really address the systemic problem over on the western side of town?
Some of it's done in surveillance. Some of it's done in high saturation of those crime areas. Some of it's done through education, through the community policing program, through crime watch programs, getting into the schools and addressing issues that are occurring within those communities that the schools are located in.
Okay, all right. And this will cover how many officers usually would this typically cover for overtime, or it's just whatever the shift demands?
We try to stretch it the best we can. When we implement these specialized or saturated patrols or surveillances, we utilize a lot of it on duty, but some of it extends into long hours, which will cost the overtime. That's where usually the overtime is paid out of. It's not necessarily the dedication of 1, 2, 3, or 5 specific officers in this. This is a group plan utilizing our, usually our general investigative unit or our special investigative unit along with the community policing, so.
In the community policing, do they utilize those motorized, the T3s within the southwest area?
Yeah, we have, sir, but unfortunately, in the past, we just received several of them back, the used ones that were disabled. So they really have not been implemented or used in the last year or so, but we just received those back. They are older. We do plan on obtaining one, hopefully through this grant, and then we're looking at another entity that's looking to donate a T3 to us so that we'll have 2 of them. But a lot of them would be, I'm not going to say specifically again to the western side of the city, but throughout the city utilized by the community policing unit.
But you would agree with me that there is a systemic problem within the southwest area as relates to crime and the heightened level of it, and that we need how, the best to approach that. Because as people calling and, people make certain statements about certain things and, they, I don't know what else for visibility that we could do to heighten up, our awareness within the life of that community over there. And I'm not knocking any other area of Homestead, but it's really, the west side of town is really a systemic problem and epidemic over there. So how can we, with this grant, ensure that those, dollars will be used to help combat and fight that systemic problem?
The chief and command staff meet as a whole each and every week. We review the recent crime statistics and provide direction in the implication and implementation of any specialized details or resources that we would have to put into an area to combat a crime ridden area.
And what are the supplies for the community policing? The amount of 3,400, what is that?
Some of the supplies would be stuff that would be given out for children's programs for the schools and so forth. It's more of a crime prevention type program, equipment, supplies.
And when you plan on having those T3 being operated back on the street to, give me a time frame or relatively idea of such?
Realistically, we plan on immediately implementing them probably the day after we receive them.
Okay. Thank you, Mayor.
Yes, sir.
And let me just say this, in no way am my questioning is to bring about any result of heightening on the police department, but I just wanted to get those, comments on the record so people will know we are doing what we can do within our ability to do that. Okay?
Understood, sir.
Yes, sir. Vice Mayor?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Councilman Williams, first I have a question for you. When you mentioned the systemic problem in the Southwest as it relates to crime, were you also thinking about the increase in crime with our youth as well, or just overall?
Yeah, no, it's what I mean by the crime, that's really, that is 99% of the issue.
Okay.
Which is within that, within that comment of our youth.
The youth?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because that was my question also. Captain Washington attended a meeting with myself and members of the community and policing unit at South Dade Regional Library talking about youth crime. So when I looked at this, I wanted to know, do we have anything specifically that we're going to do to help decrease the crime that is committed by youth?
Please, hang on, Major. Colonel. Let me do it. There you go, sir.
Thanks. Vice Mayor Faircloth, Mayor Council, in response to that question, yes, we are looking at getting more into the schools and dealing with the youth and applying some of the overtime dollars into the programs within the schools themselves to try to make connection with the children.
You mentioned that yourself, the chief, and the command staff, you meet every week.
Yes, ma'am.
And I know you can't discuss specifically what you all talk about, but is this a topic of conversation?
It has been, yes, ma'am.
Okay. I like to follow up on those conversations that you have weekly, because I
Absolutely.
really want to get plugged into what you're doing to help combat youth crime. And have you had the opportunity to follow up with Captain Washington about our meeting that we had?
She
I
has-
thought you were going to attend.
Yeah, she has discussed the fact that she attended that and what occurred at that meeting.
Oh, okay, I'd like to follow up with you about that.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Vice Mayor. Mr. Williams?
Yes, Mayor, and I don't know if the attorneys and Vice Mayor, I'd like to do some kind of resolution to address, the problem that we're addressing now. But perhaps maybe the attorneys and you and I could co-sponsor a resolution to really target this and really put some kind of statement from the record, from the council body, that we know what the problem is. We're doing our best through these initiatives and grants to combat this issue, especially the youth with the crime. And there are certain members of the Education Committee, SWAC Committee, that have, and other persons within our community partners who come in and they go to the schools and all of that already. But I think we have to step it up some more
We do.
and be more aggressive and intentional about whatever the issue, the problem is facing, certain areas in order to make sure that we put the proper resources over there to address the issue and not be reactionary, but be proactive in it. And so that's really what my comments are. And perhaps, if Mayor, if you don't mind, that we can direct the attorneys to draw up some kind of resolution from this body that we can all come back and agree on and to really deal with that, if that's okay, Mayor.
I think that's fine. It would, the whole
Vice Mayor, would you?
whole council would
Yes.
weigh in. Anything else, Vice Mayor?
No, that's it. I saw Mr. Florimon here from Three Virtues, if you want to.
Okay. Okay, so we're on tab 9. Did we make a motion? Is there a motion on tab 9?
I moved it, Mayor.
Is there a second? Second by the Vice Mayor. All in favor? Motion carries. Tab 10.
Mayor, the Florida Coalition Against Domestic Violence has awarded the City of Homestead Police Department a 10-month grant in the amount of $58,310.42 in order to fund one full-time domestic violence detective, salary and FICA. There's a match of $19,436.81, which is met through 20% of the detective supervisor's salary time spent on direct supervision. In addition to the supervisor's salary, $395.53 of office supplies utilized by the domestic violence detective are provided as a cash match. This grant award is from the date of contract execution to June 30th, 2017. There will be one-year renewal at the end of the 10-month award. Staff recommends Mayor and Council approve the attached resolution to authorize City Manager to execute the agreement with the Florida Coalition Against Domestic Violence.
Questions from council, Mr. Williams?
Thank you, Mayor. Yes, this tab is questions for the author of such tab.
Sandy?
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. A question is, I know you work closely with Christie House and Mrs. Kitchens with Christie House. We have a meeting planned. Is Christie House part of this coalition or any of it, or how does this coalition work?
Christie House is not part of the Domestic Violence Coalition. However, they are part of our Safe Family Partnership Network.
Okay.
So we do partner with them on cases of child abuse, sexual assault, cases such as that, yes.
I guess then, through your statistics, what is the amount of domestic violence that we deal with here in Homestead as it relates to this?
SOS alone serves about 1,400 families. Of that, at least 80% are domestic violence. And then if you look at our partners, their numbers are very close to ours. We particularly serve Homestead and some of Florida City, but we have partners who are farther north, not much farther, Leisure City, Naranja, and they serve about the same amount of families that we do.
Would you put a number on that for me?
Excuse me?
Would you put a number on that for me?
I would say Mujer serves about 850 families. In
Total,
Familia,
just
total,
Yeah.
in a
total.
year. And in Familia, probably around 400, 450. And Christie House is our newer partner,
Mhm.
and they deal with the sexual assault.
Do we have an ability to be able to, and maybe it has to come back to this council at the resolution or so, to establish such of a partnership with them that will, that I know you all work together on a lot of stuff, but to officially do something with them, because they serve a greater need in a greater area within our community. I know they have just hired some people to just address, some issues down on this end. And it would be great if we have, some that you all, I don't know, with space or anything of that nature, but we'll be able to work with the Christie House to kind of ensure that, that we can all work together with this. This is one of the biggest things that I've noticed has heightened over the years that I've been on council is domestic violence, and it goes both ways. And so, but if you would come back to us, or come back to me, if the mayor and council allow it, to kind of establish a kind of partnership with officially with the Christie House, that would be great, because I think that's a whole component that deals with the youth in our community. And I think that will be very helpful for not only us, but for the community as a whole. So, thank you.
Councilman, we do have an MOU with them as well for our partnership.
How often is that renewed, or how often is that done?
Annually.
Annually.
And we meet with them twice a month with the partnership.
Okay. Would you submit to my office your meeting dates, one, and then your recent memorandum of understanding, so that I'll see and like to look at it again to add a few things or whatever, to make sure that I think there's some things I'd like to see happening with that.
Yes,
So
sir.
if the council doesn't mind. Okay. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
Thank you. And also, thank you for what you do for our community and for the greater good. You serve a integral part within Homestead, and I know you do a lot. And so thank you for all that you do.
Thank you, Councilman, and we have tickets for you.
Anything else, Mr.
I
Lee?
got you.
Is that all, sir?
Yes, thank you.
Any other questions on tab 10? Is there a motion? Is there a second? Second. All in favor? Motion carries. Tab 11.
Mayor, the city is the recipient of federal repurposed funding remaining from the Congressional Safe, Accountable, Flexible, Efficient Transportation Equity Act, a legacy of users authorization. The city requested and was granted approximately $6.8 million in surface transportation funding to support a portion of the cost of an intermodal transit and parking terminal in downtown Homestead. Professional services provided by the Goodman Corporation includes assistance with the transfer of FHWA funding to the FTA, establishing the city as an FTA grantee, development of environmental and advanced planning documentation, and submittal of a request for the letter of no prejudice. Goodman Corporation will provide professional services for a sum not to exceed $112,000. Staff recommends Mayor Council approve the attached resolution authorizing city manager to enter an agreement between the City of Homestead and the Goodman Corporation. And just to comment on this, as you know, these funds we've been chasing them for a while. They came through. The P3 process closes on Friday, so we have a lot of work to do to start moving these funds around, and this firm will help us stay compliant and also try to help us find a way to leverage the current match that the city is making to see if that makes us eligible for additional funds as well.
Any questions from council? Tab 11. Is there a motion? Is there a second? All in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Tab 12.
City of Homestead owns and well, finally, here it is,
The pump
pump station
station.
number 1. All right. City of Homestead owns and operates Pump Station Number 1 located near the intersection of Chrome and Southeast A Street along the southern boundary of the city. Pump Station Number 1 is over 30 years old, and future improvements to the station under its current configuration are not feasible. In order to upgrade the Pump Station 1's capacity to meet DERM requirements, a new station is proposed to be constructed at the current wastewater treatment plant site. Construction of this new pump station will resolve moratorium issues regarding sewer capacity and bring the city's collection system into compliance. Staff recommends Mayor and Council approve the award of ITB number 201505 to Intercounty Engineering, the lowest, most responsive bidder. The award being made is in the amount of $6,100,900.
Questions from council? Is there a motion?
Move it.
Is there a second?
Second.
What's the length of time? Oh,
It's a 10-month contract period. So once we give them the notice to proceed, they will have 10 months to complete the project. So after next,
got a little gray going on there.
yeah, I'm trying to save something.
10 months after the contract.
Yes, after notice to
That's,
proceed.
by the way, that's a non-authorized goatee, just so you know. We don't endorse.
Working on approval, but
Thank you, Julio. There was a motion and a second. All in favor? Motion carries. Tab 14.
Our final item, guys, our
No, we're
final
gonna
item.
go- no,
Get ready.
no.
We have more? Oh, yeah, we have Alpha. Did you
We're
want
going
to
to
do?
go back to tab 6 if there's no objection from council. We're going to do, let's do 14 and then do 6. 14, Mr. Manager?
In October 2011, the city launched trolley services providing free transportation to residents. Over the years, the trolley routes have evolved to meet the needs of the residents. However, trolley stop timing has become an issue. Approximately 156,000 residents a year utilize the city's trolley as transportation. Other municipalities, such as the city of Miami Beach, city of Aventura, city of Doral, have adopted a smartphone app which has proven to improve their service and customer satisfaction. A smartphone trolley app would provide the residents with real-time addressing the timing issues. Staff seeks mayor and council's direction to install GPS hardware in the city's trolleys, create a smartphone app, and provide dispatch and evaluation assessment.
Questions from council? Mr. Burgess?
Yeah. So the smart, this will give these people the ability of whoever wants it to look at their phone and see where the trolley is and know that they can run out to the stop, not run out to the stop, or it's going to be there in 2 or 3 minutes, or whatever traffic situation allows it to be there.
correct. This is a GPS-based system, which every one of our trolleys will be equipped with a GPS tracking device, which will be connected to a mobile smartphone application where they can graphically see where the trolley is, and also pick up estimated times of arrival based on the time at the speed that the trolley is working. It'll cost approximately around $10,000 a year to operate. We think that's a nominal cost, and it will provide anybody to basically get a free access to where the trolleys are and find out basically how long it's going to take for a particular trolley to go to a stop, and avoid phone calls coming to the city, et cetera, asking, hey, when's the trolley coming? And we really don't have an idea, but with this, we will have one. And this company will be answering the phones and giving that information to the customer, to whoever calls.
And it'll give us an ability to also monitor and make sure that the routes are being run correctly.
Correct. It's a tracking device, just like you put to go from A to point B. It'll tell you exactly what route they took, and we'll know at every point of the day where they are located, so.
And
It does
this will be
provide
able
this.
to be used with Mr. Shelley's, when they go out to the parks, it'll still extend out that far?
All our trolleys will have those devices attached to them, so we'll be able to use it across the board.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Shelley?
As far as as you said, it was $10,000 per year to operate. What's the app development cost? Is there an upfront cost?
It's actually, the first year is going to be $10,000, but actually to operate the device is only, let me see here, let me do the $2,400 a year
Okay,
to
so it's
operate, and the rest is on
$10,000.
the initial cost of the equipment.
So it's the initial cost of the equipment is the $10,000, the development of the app itself, or the apps, it's just...
Adding the $10,000 that I mentioned, we'll bring a proposal at the next meeting, but I just wanted to get consensus from the council before we did that. And the first year, basically the equipment that will be installed per trolley, it's $114 for each equipment. So we're going to buy 4 of those, install them, and then the remaining of the first year cost of $10,000 is for operating the system itself.
And now the app itself, can it be more than just show where the trolley is and tell the times? Is there a way to incorporate as they're designing that app? Because again, I don't know if this is going to be a cookie cutter app or this is one they designed for us, but is there a way to actually have locations, you know, when you're riding the trolley, you can continue to use the app and it'll tell you at each stop maybe things to do and see. So if it's if you're trying to go shopping, if you're trying to whatever happens to be, if you're tourist related items, if it's related to the national parks trolley, you know, as they're getting off, it'll actually tell you all the things you can see, the animals you can see. So is there a way to incorporate that into the app development process, or is it going to be just a simplified little dot on the screen that goes around in a map?
Yeah, this is more of a cookie cutter type of app that is used by many municipalities, use it because it does have that information. But I can certainly reach out to this company and others, to see if that type of additional information is available and it can be
Yeah, because it would be neat to make it a full service app. So if we're going to have this technology, you know, go the next step. But again, cost is going to be the factor.
Correct.
So, and I assume that this will come back before us. You're just looking for
for
direction
sure.
on whether we're
Exactly.
interested in pursuing
Exactly.
it, which I am. I think it's a good idea. I'd like to see more information and see it come back in a more finalized form with all the options.
Excellent. Good.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Maldonado?
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, I've seen numerous versions of this type of software throughout the U.S., especially when I travel. And to what you were saying, Councilman Shelley, yes, there's a lot more options and what you can see when you're traveling locations. Washington's pretty popular in having that. So I also would like to see what other options we do have, because I think it's one very important now, you know, that we have that. So many folks, you know, miss that. So I think that's the main thing. But if we could get more out of it, that'd be ideal. So I would be for that as well.
We'll definitely ask that information and bring it forward.
Mr. Williams?
Yes. Question is with the $10,000, is that, and I didn't quite hear you answer, Councilman Shelley, but are they designing this app just for us? Or is it just one we're piggybacking on? It has been done in other cities.
It's actually a piggyback. They will design it for us in terms of adding city logo and putting city information on it. But it is an app that's already been developed and is used in different cities.
So is it upgradable to where my colleague is saying to add all of those other features? Will it have that capability? The reason why I'm asking, because we need to look down the road. We don't need to look at today. We need to be able to look down the road to see if we're going to be let's do it right the first time with all of those capabilities up front. Then spending $10,000 on the app now, and then have to figure out we got to use a whole different another company to do exactly what we want to do. So is it worth it to do it now, looking down the road? Is this $10,000 investment going to be worth it instead of just having an app created just for this, purpose, where it can deal with our tourism, it can deal with, all of the sightseeing that we have within the city, downtown? Will it be comprehensive as that? And that's probably what my biggest hesitation on improving this is, for me.
Well, agreed, and I have some homework to do. Basically, what I wanted to do is get consensus to see if we want to move forward in this direction to have an app that will have this type of information. I can reach out back to the proposals that we've received and see what kind of additional growth they can include in their design.
I would rather see spending 25, and it meets everything that we've got. Plus, in the future, it will be able to be upgradable or whatever we may need to add, than doing something like this at this time. I know we want to do it to find the, to be out there, but I think if we're going to do it, we need to do it smartly and do it right the first time around, and then coming back a year from now and saying, we outgrown that and we want to do another app. Is that possible?
That is very much possible.
We'll
work on that. Yes.
The other thing is the operators of our trolley system. How long is the contract with the operators? Because would this not be within their scope to?
No, this is separate from the operators themselves. This is a tracking device, basically, that works separate from their operations. It is not tied to the trolley company per se. So it is basically, it's a, how can I put it? It's a hub that basically follows the information of where the trolleys are and provides that information on a graphical basis, and also if people call in as well. So they become basically like
Okay, let me rephrase my question. Do they intersect to where the operators will be communicating, would they have access to the app to
Correct.
see?
Part of the equipment includes two-way radios between the operators and the hub where the system managed. So they have two-way communication with the drivers themselves as well.
No, I'm not talking about two-way radio. No. What I'm saying is, do they have access to the app?
Yes, absolutely.
To be able to have real-time on
course.
their end, being the operator?
They do.
And so-
Anybody with a smartphone will have the access.
Okay, maybe I'm not asking smart questions. Okay, never mind. We'll leave it at that.
You're going to bring back
We'll bring it
additional
back with the information.
Because
Sure.
what I'm trying to say is that if we are paying operators to operate the trolley, would it not be beneficial to them to take a part of this? They're operating the trolleys, we're
Yeah.
paying them,
Mhm.
right? Through
Yeah.
PTP funds, we're paying them to operate it.
Correct.
So wouldn't it not work hand in hand with the operators? We're paying
Yes,
them to operate our trolleys.
I understand your question. And what I'll do is, when I go back and speak to these companies that do this,
Yeah.
usually the companies that do these are not the operators of trolleys. They're usually
I understand.
a separate, and there is a connectivity between the two that we're going to have to reach, in essence, to make it all work as one. But, yes,
Because what
I
you
understand
say-
your question. I understand
It
your
sounds like they're autonomous, and what I want to see them intersect to where, they're sitting at the table to make sure that whatever operational pieces that they're doing coincide and that we're not in conflict with
Correct.
with that.
understood.
Okay, all right.
Understood. And they have been involved.
Thank you, Mr. Williams. Was there a motion on tab 14? It was moved? It's a discussion. So it's just a discussion? So you got the information you need? Okay, so before we go back to tab 6 if we can, because we've got Troop 69 here, I'd like to ask them to line up in the front here and let us walk by and give all of you keys to the city for your little lapels, and all the council members can go by and shake your hand. Is that okay? All right, let's go do that.
I didn't get one. You do now. They have one? Oh, wow.
Oh, you want to shake your hand.
How about a high five?
Reverse my cufflinks, I want keys.
Just the same thing. Those little things.
We got Julio on the road.
Well, I hope you enjoyed this meeting, and maybe you'll come back again for another long one. Sometimes we get here for a long time. You want to? You want to stand up?
Back here, yeah.
You stand up behind him. You want to stand up behind him and? We could do that. We can do that one day. We could do that one day.
Ask about the virtual reality room, George. The room.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Well, everybody, can you get everybody in?
Let's win. Let's come and look at it. Must be Shawn Michaels' mom.
Jimmy, your son will be up there.
Yeah, he's already gone.
All right, guys, thank you.
All right, everybody, thank you.
Very nice. Thank you.
Okay, if we can go back to tab 6, Mr. Manager.
Mayor, Alpha is here. If, I know you had some questions, this is a 3 virtue fee waiver request.
Okay.
Welcome.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. I want to thank Vice Mayor along with the council for the Haitian relief, and we've been receiving a lot of items from the city of Homestead, and most of the items already shipped to the people in need. So we want to, on behalf of Trivertis, along with my board, I have a board member here, Mr. Joad Barrett. So we want to thank you guys for all the effort and all the help that you provide. Thank you. Along with my board, I would like to know if I can use the community center on January 7th to do a breakfast. A breakfast is going to consist like more or less like a prayer breakfast. We're not going to call it prayer breakfast. It's supposed to be for the event of the 2010 earthquake, but right now we have the Hurricane Matthew. We're going to include both of them in that event. So we will take time not only to eat together, but also to think about all these people that haven't received any assistance or needs, and that are also looking for assistance. They still haven't reached them. So this is the purpose of this breakfast, to invite all the community and have people with different ethnicities come and listen to the needs of the people, and also think about what we can do as a community to help them in that sense. So Trivertis will do that as a fundraising to help some of the project in Haiti if that take place.
Vice Mayor?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. That was my question. I wanted some more information as far as the intent for the breakfast. Was it a fundraising event to raise funds for relief efforts?
It is a fundraising to raise funds, yes, Vice Mayor.
What is the cost for the breakfast to attend?
We haven't decided the cost yet because we have to see if everything in place. Once we have the place, more or less we will look for the venue to see how we're going to lay it out. And more or less we're looking at maybe $10 or $15. That's depend.
Has the need been identified as far as the funds that you raised, what they're going to go specifically for? Is it for shelter? Is it for education? Is it for food? Has that been identified and specified?
Yeah, we will have some guests that will come. It will be for a school in 2 different areas. We don't know how much we might raise, but once we raise the money, we will send it to help those kids in that areas. There's 2 different areas that needed school, and we try to see if we can help those areas. And I think one of the principal or the person in charge might come in that breakfast. One of them might be able to come.
Okay.
So we might have that person there.
Just for a frame of reference, we all support our nonprofits in the community, and we're very generous of waiving fees when there's no cost. It's free and open to the public. Because this is a fundraiser and people will be charged to attend, there are some members, of us on council who we really don't sponsor it if fees are associated with attending. But if we do move forward with it, in the past, we've all kind of chipped in and sponsored here and there. So I think it's a great event to raise funds to continue to help with relief efforts in Haiti, which is just, one of the poorest countries, has been impoverished and needs a lot of assistance. I get that. I think we should move forward with it. But if it doesn't pass to completely waive the fees, don't feel as if we don't support the event, but we'll try to come around and help you sponsor it so that you don't have to bear the cost of it.
I mean, yes, I understand, and I can do it free if all the council pitch $1,000. I can do it free of charge. It's true, so that's just another thing. The whole purpose of it is to see how we can get the funding. And we wanted to try that location because it's a nice location, and we wanted to see what we can do within the community to help out. So as I said, we can do it free, but we just haven't have the funding available.
Right.
But if there's another way of helping us to have the funding available, we would love to have all the community together, because we would love to have everybody together to really sit down and eat together and talk together without asking them for any penny.
Well, Alpha, what I'm willing to do is I'm willing to help pay towards the $500 fee if my colleagues and I want to all chip in to do that, because we don't want to set a precedent.
I can do it free of charge.
No, you can charge. We can't give you $1,000 now. You can't go there, but we're willing to help chip in to pay for the fee. I think it's $500.
I'll be in, you'll be in. I see Councilman Shelley shaking his head. I see Mr. Burgess shaking his head.
We'll
I
split
think
it.
we're all in, so I don't think we need to continue the conversation about waiving the fees. Let us just, as a group, pay that
Chip
fee
in.
for you. It'll come from the council's discretion. That way, we don't have to talk about any fee waiver. You'll have access to the building, and you can charge to have people there and raise money for the cause, and I think it's a win-win for everybody.
Thank you very much. And also, I invite each one of you guys to be attended. I will send you a letter or an email.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Williams?
Thank you.
Oh, no, you said discontinue conversation, so we're good.
If everybody's okay, I think you're set. I don't think we have to go any farther. Just our assistants will get with your group, get with our assistants, and we'll map out the monies for you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Vice Mayor. Thank you, council members. Is there anything else? What do we got here in the end here?
I just need to request an executive session in the case Homestead versus Newport. It's a land acquisition case, please.
Any other questions, any other discussion items? Is there a motion?
Mayor, I just wanted to recognize Steve Scott. This is his last meeting with us. So, Stephen, thank you for your service, and thanks. Good luck.
Thank you, Stephen.
Is it still a top secret where you're going, or is it? Yeah, it's still top secret. Yeah, okay. Thank you.
All right. Anything else? Is there a motion to adjourn? Motion. Second, all in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Good night.